Before we begin this week, just some housekeeping. Earlier this week, our official Twitter account was tagged in a post by the Test My Echo Twitter account, Ian's personal one, which he listed his top six games of all time.
Oh,
They
no.
were BioShock, Hades, The Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain 2, Halo 3, and Time Splitters 2.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a problem with this list, though. Tell me if you know what it is.
Are you going to say Final Fantasy 14 is not on the list and that's a problem?
No, I was not going to make it that, low effort, the Final Fantasy transition this week. Actually, it will be more low effort. I was going to make it that high effort where I was going to pull a Twitter post because you haven't played it. I'm not going to make this the Final Fantasy segment. We'll do that later.
Don't worry. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. That's still happening, of course. The Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain 2, I'm sure perfectly fine games in their own right.
It's all roguelikes.
Of all time, though, the list is missing something. And I think you know exactly what that is.
I actually don't.
How does this list in no way whatsoever contain the game Bloodborne?
You're right. I forgot about Bloodborne.
Take a seat. Take a seat in front of the class. Explain to people why Bloodborne gets shafted.
Take a seat in front of the class.
Yep, take a seat in front of the class. The whole class is staring at you. We're just putting one chair right in the front. Everyone's looking at you.
I just forgot about it.
Forgot about Bloodborne.
I just forgot about
dripping
Bloodborne.
with that creamy aesthetic. Just Gurman. The eyes. Mikolash.
And I forgot about it because I haven't played that game in, I would say, probably at least a year and a half to 2 years. And I just forgot
Cause or Cosm?
Fear the Good Blood. Fear the Good Blood.
Just mwah, mwah. Just perfect. Bloodborne should probably be there. If you had to remove one for Bloodborne, which would it be?
Probably Risk of Rain 2.
You like The Binding of Isaac more than Risk of Rain 2?
I do. Hold on, I can check. I have put 360 hours into Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is the sequel to The Binding of Isaac.
I played the first one on a school computer and thought, this is pretty good for a Flash game. Huh.
It is pretty good for a Flash game. And then the second one is, just pretty good. It's just very good. Honestly, I would say The Binding of Isaac is one of the, if not the greatest roguelike of all time.
Because I'll accept Halo 3. Hades gets the list, even though it just came out.
Yeah, Hades is wicked good. Hades is a roguelike that meshed a good series of game mechanics with an actually interesting and compelling story that has depth to it. And I feel like the pacing of the story is also very good, because as you get better with the game, the story unveils itself more to you. And I think that's just they just did a great job.
And I'll excuse Time Splitters 2, because for some reason you, James, and Tyler all have a bunch of nostalgia for that, even though I played it once when it was rented, and I'm like, this is just bad GoldenEye gameplay.
It's because I never had GoldenEye. I had Time Splitters 2, and I love the shit out of it. It's super campy. It's just campy and great.
But Ian, where on that list is Mega Man Star Force?
What the fuck is Mega Man Star Force?
It's something on my list, that's what I'll tell you.
Good non-answer.
It is a Mega Man game that was like the sequel series to the Battle Network series. It's the same type of gameplay, but it was for the DS, so instead of being isometric, you're behind Mega Man. He still moves through the tiles, and it was cool. But they only made 3 of them, even though they made like 9 Battle Network games.
That does
Star
sound
Force
pretty
got
interesting.
Star Force got forgotten. It got abandoned. It never gets brought up, but it was pretty good. And I'm sick of pretending that it wasn't.
No one in this Skype call is gonna make you pretend that it wasn't.
Good. I remember they had an animated special for it that aired on Toonami back when it was relevant, and it
Shit.
was pretty cool. It was great. All the bosses were like the constellations and stuff. It was neat.
I can get down with that. But I never played it. So I can't in
That's
good
fine.
faith put it on my list.
I'll forgive you for now.
For now.
I actually never got to play the sequels because by the time I didn't have a DS anymore by the time the sequels came out, because I remember that was the first game. I think it sticks out to me the most because it was the first time I started looking up Japanese versions of stuff.
Huh. Is the Japanese version like better?
No, it's just more because the sequels were out in Japan, not North America. And at the time it had no real sort of news about coming out in America. So I was just, browsing, being like, man, Mega Man Star Force 2 looks so good. Up, they're coming out with 3. Are we ever going to get those? And then forum posts were essentially, I don't know. Hopefully.
Fucking beats me, dude.
And I don't know if we ever did. Well, we did, but I don't know if we ever got 3. We got 2, I know. But I would look up, for example, I actually watched all of the Mega Man Star Force anime. That was the first, I think, subtitled series I ever watched. And I watched it all on YouTube, but back when it was clips. Episode 39, part 1, episode 39, part 2, episode 39, part 3. The good old days.
The good old days. Also, I just want it to be said, I put almost 400 hours into the original Binding of Isaac. 396.4 hours. Thank you, Steam.
I can't believe this. Although if we go by hours, I have a shit ton of hours in Civ, and I would not put Civ on my list.
It's because Civ takes a fucking long time.
Yeah. Also, and most of the experiences have been more frustrating than they have been fun.
Yeah, the Civ experience can be summed up as like sitting in a lobby or sitting on the map waiting for the internet to catch up. It's not great.
Also, I'd like to apologize, but I'm going to bring things back to Mega Man. I don't know why. I'm feeling in a big Mega Man mood this episode.
Hey,
This is a big Mega Man mood.
what you do, you dude?
I'm tired of, how Mega Man's kind of dead, even though they occasionally still make something for it.
Yeah,
Dead in air quotes. The only one we get is Boomer Mega Man. I'm sick of Boomer Mega Man. I don't care about playing classic Mega Man. I want more experimental shit. I want more stuff like Legends, like Battle Network, Star Force.
there's no innovation to Mega Man anymore.
I don't care about them remaking the same game that they made on the Super Nintendo. Or, the classic Nintendo. Just, hey, Blue Bomber, like how he always was. And I'm like, I don't care about that one. You made 10 of those.
It's like, shit. They redid, frick. Metroid. The original Metroid was great and everyone loved it, and it spawned like that, and Castlevania spawned its own genre of gaming, but then they went outside and did some experimental stuff, and it didn't do as good, and they were just like, well, this is dead now. Sorry.
Prime did really well, though. People love Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that one did a pretty good job.
Well,
That's
that's Nintendo specifically. Nintendo's just a bad company at doing stuff.
that's fair.
Nintendo can't give the people what they want. They're just
No.
incapable of doing it.
Instead of putting any like actual characters that people want in Smash, what if we just put in more Japanese swordsmen?
And Konami decided that they didn't want to make games anymore, let alone Castlevania.
Yeah, that's weird.
But they decided that they wanted to fund anime for it.
The anime is pretty decent.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
wish
for what
they
it is, that's pretty good for something that's not primarily Japanese made.
Yeah, I wish they had like had better sound mixing.
You ever play Mega Man Legends?
No. I don't think I've ever played a Mega Man game.
Legends was like the RPG one. You get to run around. It was the one on the 64 and the PlayStation.
I think I know which one you're talking about, but I have not.
I've actually liked all the Mega Man games besides the original one, and I wasn't that big on Mega Man X because Mega Man X was essentially the same thing, just with a different coat of paint.
That's a gaming trend for you, just
Yeah.
period.
Well, Mega Man X was the Super Nintendo cousin to Mega Man Classic, where it had the same gameplay style, but of course, since it was on the Super Nintendo, it looked better. And also, I kind of like that one because I like the story a bit more because it's edgier Mega Man, but not that edgy. It's like '90s edgy where everything's cool.
Yeah, everything needs to be super tactical. Here's this
Yeah.
guy. He doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
Actually, that was a cool world essentially because robots serve humans in that one, but then the main bad guy Sigma is just like, "Hey, I don't like doing that. We're just gonna nuke the humans," and he does. He nukes the people.
He just does.
Yeah,
Sometimes
Sigma's he's way more intimidating than Dr. Wily, who's just Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie. Who are you? I'm Dr. Wowie.
Who are you? I'm Dr. Lolly. That guy
And then
needs to
Battle
go to
Network
fucking
was really
jail.
cool because Mega Man essentially was just an AI. He was a program.
Like Digimon,
Yeah, he was.
I think.
He was. They had everybody in the world had net navies, so essentially an AI companion that does all their digital stuff for them. But unlike Digimon, they don't cross over between worlds.
That's
So it's
fair.
like, oh man, something's wrong with the heating unit in our house. It's causing a bunch of fires. Mega Man, jack in. And then Mega Man goes inside and he's like, oh man, they're starting those fires. It's actually another evil net navi, and I gotta fight him.
It's evil Heat Man.
Yeah. That was the cool thing, that they took all the old original bosses and changed them around to be programs like Mega Man. I remember they had an anime for it too, and then it got really weird by the end where they decided to actually start blending the worlds where, oh no, the world is getting digitized. That means I can fuse with Mega Man.
What the
And then
hell?
the main character would fuse with Mega Man sometimes.
That's weird.
The Mega Man anime was pretty whatever, the Battle Network one. I like the Star Force one. If I watched it again, I probably wouldn't like it because I was in middle school at the time, so of course I was super into it.
Okay.
But yeah, Mega Man is cool. They should make more experimental Mega Man stuff. The DS era was pretty good. They got a lot of cool games that happened on the DS era. The DS was a cool console in general. I feel like it has a good library.
Yeah, the DS led to a lot of innovation.
I feel like the DS library is the PlayStation 2 of handhelds in terms of the amount of quality.
Yeah. It was something that was like so new that it just sparked so much developer creativity, which is real rare these days.
Yeah. DS is cool. Game Boy Advance was cool.
Mega Man's
Handhelds were
pretty
cool. I'm glad the Switch kind of retains that handheld-ish nature about it. Because
I saw
actually that's why I like gacha games too, or like phone games. I just say gacha games because they're pretty much all gacha games. But
Yeah.
I think playing something while you're just sitting in your bed is cool. And I'm little Alex lore. My eyesight's pretty bad, so I don't like having to look over at a TV.
That's fair. That's a reasonable standpoint.
I got bad eyes, so I like looking at screens up close, which only makes the eyes worse.
It's a self-perpetuating cycle.
Yep, that's how it's just gonna be.
You should get yourself some blue light goggles or something.
My sister recommended that, and I was like, eh.
Get yourself some Gunner optics.
Some Gunner optics. My laptop actually has a blue light setting, but of course I don't want that on because it makes everything kind of orangish.
Yeah, it's like...
Actually, my phone has that setting too. And again, I don't like it.
I tried it on my phone because it was like, hey, if you turn this on, it won't fuck you up when you use it before you go to bed. And I was like, that's cool. And I tried it, and it's like the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's ugly.
It's not even like straight up orange. It almost makes everything brown, which is worse.
It just dulls all the hues.
It sucks. That's why I recommend getting some blue light glasses.
I'll sleep fine normally, just because I grew up doing this. I've like evolved to the point where it's okay. I grew up, with the Game Boy Advance SP under the covers at night, playing Pokemon Sapphire.
And blue light glasses, I would really only recommend to people who are like, yeah, I get headaches from staring at screens so long. It's like, you should get some blue light glasses.
I get headaches, but I think it's a multitude of things.
Yeah, because your eyesight's bad, so if you're like straining to see it in the first place, it probably doesn't help.
Yeah. Sometimes it might just be like, oh, I didn't eat anything. Blood sugar levels dropped.
Blood sugar levels dropping.
Eye strained. Blood sugar low.
Bam, down. We need to jump into action.
Speaking of jumping into action, this is an anime podcast. I talked about anime during that thing. I mentioned several anime. We're still on brand.
Yeah. Our brand is whatever the fuck we want to talk about, we talk about. But there's also sometimes anime.
Yeah. You know who we are. If you don't, this is a weird episode. Join in and listen to several minutes of Mega Man before you got to who the hosts are.
Yeah, if you don't have a good feel for us at this point, and you're like, I'll just start with episode 10 of this season. That's on you, to be totally honest.
Yeah. Otherside Picnic. We're just gonna go into it.
Greg's dead, baby.
Greg is dead. But we are saving the boys.
But we're saving the boys. We're saving all the good boys.
I was thinking this episode, how are they going to explain that when they get out?
I don't know, dude.
How is this going to work? How is the American government going to explain how at least a significant portion of U.S. soldiers going missing or dead in a country that is relatively safe and peaceful?
I don't know, but I didn't even think of that. I was more worried about, like, how the fuck do you justify the tank that they built? Just a mobile fortress.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they said they built it.
They built it.
What were they doing? This was a training exercise in Okinawa.
And they built, like, just a...
They brought several weeks of live ammunition, tanks, all this supplies. Is either they weren't doing a regular training exercise, or the Japanese perception of how ready the American military is just completely false.
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It's like, oh, that's the American military. They're a well-oiled machine.
No, it super isn't. It's actually the worst.
And then we talk to anybody who we know who was in the military, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's No.
It's a fucking mess and a half, dude. I don't know. But we're rescuing the lieutenant, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The girls are here to save us.
The girls?
Marines, get ready to move out.
Oh.
Hey, I see something over there.
I loved it. I might watch this episode again later just for the anguish, because I love it.
I'm also glad we're helping other people. Like, we're not just abandoning them. Because, Also, they, what's her name? Toriko shows Soro how to basically shoot a rifle. I like how they're just going to give them the rifles, too. They're like, yeah, just take them. We can't carry all of it.
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of understand it. It's like, fuck it. If you're going to help us get out of this weird alternate
here's
dimension...
some American-grade military assault rifles.
Do you want the fucking tank? You can take that, too.
I don't know where we're going to put it.
Just help us get out of here, man. I just want out. And
then she shows her how to shoot and aim and stuff, and it's just a nice scene of them. You know what? Guns are cool. Lesbians are cool. But you know what's the coolest thing of all? Trigger discipline.
Yo, legit. Trigger discipline is the most cool.
Yeah, she teaches her about trigger discipline.
That's like, I feel like that's something a lot of people don't understand when it comes to guns. Is like, don't put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to end someone's life.
Or in this case, ghosts.
Yeah, or ghosts. But like,
and the big man chases them. The big giant antler man.
Yeah, that guy comes back. Turns out he was the bad guy the whole time. He has like plant zombies.
And they don't chase him into the woods.
Because there's too many plants there. I don't know. The one thing that kind of bothered me, I will admit, Toriko messes with the assault rifle and then all of a sudden it's lighter. And I'm like, there's not a lot of stuff you can just pull out of a rifle to make it lighter. That's all those parts are pretty necessary.
Yeah.
Can't just...
Don't worry, her Canadian mom showed her.
Her Canadian mom showed her how to make a U.S. military regulation rifle lighter for her nerd friend. Whatever is fine. Don't worry about it.
They're gonna probably have to say, "Oh, it was a training exercise gone wrong." That's why several soldiers are mysteriously missing.
They're all missing. There are no bodies. They got a little bit of splaining to do.
Also, at least there were some commanders in there, because otherwise, imagine the situation on base right now.
Yeah.
It's like, so they went into the woods for a training exercise and they're all gone. Also, apparently they took like 2 months worth of ammunition. Was that part of the training exercise?
Yeah, why did they need all of that live ammunition? I don't know. Commander whatever his face. He's always doing those weird antics.
They took a couple of Humvees? Did they need those for the woods?
For the woods. Like those things, military Humvees are made for going over rough terrain. The woods is a little bit more than rough terrain. Those aren't meant to trees. Those aren't meant to run down trees. They brought a fucking minesweeper to the woods.
They were over-prepared. You can tell the creator of this show, though, is just likes military stuff.
Oh, totally.
It's like, that's cool. I want that in there. They picked their favorite things. They picked military stuff, lesbians, and trigger discipline.
I'll be honest, a lot of those are my favorite things too. So I feel like
Same. We would get
probably
along with the creator.
we need to meet the creator so that we can just be best friends and be like, hey, we heard you like lesbians, trigger discipline, in the U.S. military. Us too.
And we do the Predator movie where we like lock arms and just like, yeah.
That movie is great. That movie is great because it's a well-made horror movie, but it's also great because it starts off as like a stereotypical action movie and then like regresses into a horror movie.
Maybe
it does such a good job.
Maybe we can hang out with them, with that creator, and also the Magical Girl Spec Ops creator.
Let's just get them all together.
Everyone who likes cute girls and military stuff.
I feel like we could do it. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be super pumped if there was like any creator out there that wanted to hang out with us. Like, fuck yeah, dude. You made a thing and we watched it. Let's just chill. Let's just hang out.
Yeah, man. Sounds cool. Let's just chill.
Let's just have a cool, chill hangout time.
Might be fun, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yas, queen.
And then the Magical Girl Spec Ops guy is constantly like, but what if we added BDSM?
No, like, that's cool. That's okay. But you're getting a little too intense with the BDSM.
Magical Girl spanking.
Like, we get it. No, we get it. But
I think I loved that show because of the tone whiplash.
Oh, it was so good.
That show was just full of tonal whiplash.
It was the best. Like,
this show is pretty consistent.
There's no two ways about it. Magical Girl Spec Ops, you better bring a neck brace. 'Cause holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm back.
Speaking of whiplash, that's how I felt watching this most recent episode of X-Arm.
I don't even remember what happens. I think, like, I know I watch it, but I feel like my brain just doesn't absorb it anymore.
So, the first part of this episode was really poorly done. Like, I think this was some of the worst directed shot composition, I think, in the entire show so far, because I had no idea what was happening. It was really hard to follow. I had an idea of what was happening. It's just this, if you took the dialogue out and just had to follow this shot by shot, you couldn't do it.
I feel like that could be said for a lot of stuff.
Every shot choice is really bad in this, and it's especially bad here. They still have their stupid smoke filter, which even during scene transitions, it's the same smoke. Like, the same smoke is overlaid. Even if they cut to different people in a different place.
It's never going away.
But I will give credit where credit is due. This episode had one competently done fight scene between Alma and Soma. I'd say it was mediocre, which is high praise for this show.
I'm starting to Memento style regain my memories.
But it wasn't anything special. The combat's still really floaty in this, and hits don't feel like they land the way they should. But whoever did this scene at least took advantage of the fact that they were playing with 3D models in a 3D space. Like, there's a part where she throws the grenade and it does like a slow motion pan around like both, like, you know, the room, like the hallway that they're fighting in.
Yeah.
It at least takes advantage of the space that they're in.
Someone at some point decided to make a creative decision that paid off.
Yes.
And good on them. I remember Soma hanging from the ceiling.
With his tongue out.
With one arm, his tongue out, and a knife in his mouth. Or like some sharp object in his mouth.
No, that's his tongue.
That's his tongue?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tried to like stick his tongue into Alma so he can hijack her or something.
That's a sentence with like connotations.
Yes. It was the one competent part. Is that one hallway fight scene. It wasn't good or anything, but it was just comparatively to everything else we've had for a while. It was whatever.
Congratulations, you've finally done it.
I'll give this a D+.
You got one.
And then they go into this wind turbine thing or whatever, and then that's bad again. And then we find out that, of course, surprise, surprise, it is the brother, the skull mask man. But he's a clone. And then we get the backstory of that, where it's all done in 2D, where we get this guy that's... Honestly, this scene was just so weird, just maybe because the man does not emote, but where he's like, yes, your brother died, but look at this. We stuck him in this thing without you getting your permission or anything for it. How will you use your brother's life for science?
Yeah, I remember this part.
And he just says it with dead eyes and a smile.
I feel like this guy is supposed to be a super crazy mad scientist, but since he doesn't have any expression on his face, it's worse than falling flat.
Yeah. And then they cut to the beta incident with him destroying the city, and it's just, I don't know why they always go back to this cut, because it looks so bad with them doing the circle effect over everything.
That effect is the worst thing I've ever seen. I have no idea why they love it so much.
Did one of their kids do it and they're like really proud of it? It's like, hey, we used your shot again, buddy.
It must be like the one thing they paid for. And they were like, we paid for this, so we're going to get our money's worth. They were
ripped off.
Yeah. We didn't embezzle this like $3 for this effect. So we're going to use it, god damn it.
We're going to use this fucking effect. And yeah, guys, just stop.
It's time to stop.
I think they have one episode left, thank God. And imagine if at the end they go, see you in season 2, confirmed.
If they pull a season 2 confirmed, I don't even know if my brain can handle that. I might just die on the spot.
The literal only reason I could even think of that happening is because it was done in advance. Someone had to have paid it and set it up in advance. But if that was the case, they should pull out. It shouldn't happen. I think everyone has looked at this and realized that should not be the case.
Definitely. No one's gonna watch the Abomination that is season. No one's gonna watch the first episode of the Abomination that is season 1 and think, yeah, this is pretty cool. I think we can get down with that.
Yeah, this definitely had enough time on the cutting room floor.
It should have been left there on the cutting room floor. They should have kicked it under the doormat in the cutting room so no one would ever see it ever again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I got nothing left.
We have one more week of doing this.
Yeah. It was fun at first, but now it's just like water off a duck's back. It just flows out of my brain.
You know what's not fun for me anymore?
What?
Having to do this. Ian, Final Fantasy XIV is a very popular MMO made by Square Enix. They used to be just known as Squaresoft, but that was a long time ago.
That's an interesting factoid.
It is, because the first Kingdom Hearts game when I had it had just like Squaresoft on it. Then they were Square Enix later.
Well, Alex, I have some good news for you.
I can stop bringing this up every week?
Yes, I downloaded it yesterday.
Ba, ba, ba. Like I said, I don't care if you don't even play with me. Join your friend's Discord and just play with them.
I might.
Good.
What?
Otherwise, because then I'm going to be like, You're going to be in the Nick situation where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to associate with anyone else but you.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. That's a strange thing to do.
Like, I don't know, go meet people. He's in my FC, but he doesn't really talk to anybody in my FC, which is kind of weird.
I don't understand Nick all the time because, like, he's I would say he's a charming and lively person, but he's weirdly, like, antisocial. Like, he never seems to want to meet people.
And that's kind of the point of of an MMO, is to have people to, like, play with.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't think I would have had at least, like, a significant portion, at least a third of the good of an experience that I had with it without my FC, because they would show up whenever I was doing the end of an expansion, they would come and help me, like, do the last big trial with me. And that was always fun.
That's good shit. It's like the name, the title, MMO, massively multiplayer online. The whole point is that there's a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's scatterbrained, or he has ADD, so he'll constantly switch what he's doing.
That's fair.
So it's like, hey, we're going to go do this. Oh, but I just started doing this. Actually, I'm going to do that. And then this, and then that. Which, to be fair, MMOs are the perfect genre because they have so much stuff to do, but it's like, do it later. Do it when you actually are, like, caught up on content.
Yeah, there's always later.
There's always later. But yeah, that's good. And when you tell me that you officially start playing, then after I can stop doing the Final Fantasy segment. So that's the Final Fantasy segment this week. I got to download it. That's progress.
Yes. I've
we've
started
made progress.
It's a small step in a greater journey.
He'll get caught up just before Endwalker, which will be cool, because then you get to do the new expansion with the people.
Yay. Let's take a small step towards the end of the podcast and move on to our next show.
It's Dr. Stone. Oh, who could have foreseen this coming? Who could have foreseen what was going to happen other than I?
I'd have never guessed. They did it in a much cooler way. It wasn't just like a thing that just happened. It was like a whole thing, and then they had the fight, and the fight was pretty cool. That was
really cool. You got Science and Might teaming up.
The unstoppable duo. There's a lot of cool shit in this episode.
Something tells me, of course, since they only tased him, of course, he'll be fine. But Hyoga's going to run away, be the new main villain, and he's probably going to have in his party the gymnastics girl who likes him for some reason, even though he literally doesn't give a shit about anybody.
She's just like that.
Like Hyoga-sama, and I'm like, he literally doesn't care about anybody. He's willing to sacrifice everybody because everyone is worthless to him. And then he's probably going to get bad cop dude.
Oh, 100%.
And Tsukasa, our dude. They stabbed him.
He got stabbed in the chest.
He got stabbed in a very important part of the chest.
He got stabbed in probably the most important part of the chest.
Yeah, according to Hyoga, he stabbed him through the lung.
You only have two of them, but you need both.
I think some people live with one lung.
You can, but I think Tsukasa needs two.
Yeah. Also, he technically still has two. It's just one is filling with blood.
And they don't really have the medical technology to help him. So he's just gonna die.
I don't know. Probably. I want to believe that Senku can pull something out of his ass.
Me too. I would love for Tsukasa to live. That would make me very happy.
That's nice, though, that they became friends. Like, they worked together at the end, at least, if Tsukasa does die, and obviously Senku's going to look after his sister.
Yes.
Tsukasa was a cool... Also, I'm pretty sure everybody who's not the few people he's going to take with him are going to join the Kingdom of Science.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, I think those guys are... There's going to be an episode where they spend, like, here's the Tsukasa crew acclimating to life with the Science Kingdom. We've got heaters. How cool is that?
I forgot this is going to be. I was thinking too. I'm like, oh, we're at the end, but I'm like, no. Actually, I don't know if we're at the end. Is this going to be 2 core, or are they just doing this arc? Because otherwise, then we might only have one episode left if it's only just a 12 episode core. Because they dubbed it just the Stone Wars, and the Stone Wars is over.
Yeah. I would say Senku has won because a third party came in and potentially killed one of the leaders.
Yeah, and everybody in that other faction is probably just going to join his now.
Yes. So congratulations, Senku, you've won by default.
And now their opponent is a man with a big stick. With a big sharp stick.
When Tsukasa was punching the spear in like lengthwise,
it should have broke it because he killed a lion with a punch.
Tsukasa killed a lion with a punch and regularly broke statues with his bare fists.
Yet he can't break a strong piece of bamboo.
I'm calling a doubt on this one. Yeah. I'm dropping a doubt right there.
It's like, oh, he was in a weakened state. Like, even so, it's a stick.
It's the difference between a branch and just like punching a boulder like you're fucking.
Actually, we talked about this last week. Kohaku should have broken his stick. She's using a steel sword.
Yeah, she should have cut through it.
Unless he has a metal base in there, it's done.
I don't think they... Actually, he was with Tsukasa's army, so he definitely doesn't have that capability. It just broke. It's just broke.
It's broke.
It's just broke. I've watched enough Forged in Fire to know that a decently made katana, sharpened, can cut through a stick.
I'm pretty sure even blunt swords are going to break the stick.
Yeah, just with blunt force. I'm going to talk about Forged in Fire for a second because I fucking love that show.
That's fine. I talked about Mega Man, so you're entitled.
Cool. They test swords / whatever super cool weaponry they're making by like banging it against steel crates and just like, we're gonna take these knives and we're gonna dig them into these like oak wooden planks, and then we're gonna try and break the tips off, and then we're gonna test them for sharpness. Those dudes, like a well-made knife, can survive a lot of shit, including just slamming it against a solid steel barbell. You want me to believe that a sword can't cut through just a long stick? Y'all are freaking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for a second.
Also, even at the end of the day, still, it is a stick. Magma is a big guy.
It's a stick.
Imagine if he just went and grabbed it. Like, just grab the stick and just pull it.
Magma could probably physically overpower Hyoga. I think that's a reasonable standpoint.
Magma has some kind of weird mix of, like, obviously Japanese, but he also has a weird mix of Russian and American heritage.
Yeah, because he's descendant.
They're all descendant of those people that were on the satellite. So
yeah,
all of them are a mix of Japanese, American, and Russian.
These people should be able to like punch.
The man with the Russian, because he looks like he got a lot of the Russian, should easily be able to overpower essentially a Japanese high schooler.
He is physically large and he wields an axe. If he grabbed that spear and just like hacked the end off with his axe, that's it. That's GG. He's won.
Honestly, Senku's group has grown men. The grown men alone should be able to overpower even strong high schoolers.
Yes. Yes. Just yes. That's just true.
That's just how it works. Like, Kohaku's dad won the contest of being the best warrior in the village, which is why he's the chief in the first place. The man should be able to take down a teenager. It's like, oh, well, I have superior spear techniques. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to grab you.
I'm just going to grab the spear and then that's it. And then your strategy is over.
Spear, then I'm going to grab you.
Good. What are you going to do about that? Nothing. You've lost. Too bad.
What are you going to do about that, sport?
I feel bad because, like, that guy won the best warrior competition, but it feels like he gets wrecked all the time.
He doesn't even do anything. He's a commentary character.
Yeah,
he just stands in the background and goes, he even overpowered both Magma and Ginro and Kinro.
Maybe if you weren't just sitting in the background running your frickin' mouth, they'd have an easier time in the battle. But I guess not. Whatever.
Just rush them with numbers.
Just rush them with numbers. That's the other thing.
Just throw a net on them. Because they'll be busy trying to grab, like, just get rid of the net. Like, oh, try to get this net off me, and then you just grab them.
Especially if you throw a net on the spear guy, you can't cut through a net with a spear. Like, you're gonna have to. That's too much work.
It's just gonna go through one of the loops, and it's gonna extend too far out, and then it's easier to, like, just grab.
Like, the only way.
Also, his special technique is to spin the tip of the spear, and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
Spin to win.
If anything, that just makes the pattern more predictable.
Just duck under it. Like, duck under it, and then when he tilts it, have someone rush him from behind, and then that's it. And then you've won. We could kick the shit out of Hyuga. Hyuga wouldn't even be a match for us.
Dude, I'm just gonna grab him and, like, get on top of him and just use my body weight.
We'll take his stick and then we'll break it, and then we'll beat him with his own stick.
I'm just gonna use my body weight against him. I'm just gonna, like, go on top of him and just potato. It's like, what are you gonna do?
That's a good question.
What is he gonna do?
What's he gonna do? The only answer is nothing.
It's like, come on, Japanese high school boy, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, you Japanese high schooler? We're grown men.
I just pinned your arms. What are we gonna do on the ground?
This took a very lewd turn. Now we're both down here together. What are you gonna do about it? Kiss?
Looks like things are gonna get pretty rough for you now, Hyuga.
It's
Bet
perfect.
you didn't expect this.
All you gotta do is...
That's what you gotta do to beat, like, people like Hyuga. You just gotta put them in a yaoi encounter.
And then they get so uncomfortable that you win.
You pull down his mask and go like, I see. Your lips are fucking weird and disgusting.
Hyuga does need chapstick.
Yeah. It's like, let me give you a little bit of chapstick. We have science and chapstick.
We made chapstick.
Just for you.
Just for you. That's the best way to win any fight, is to make your opponent as uncomfortable as possible.
That's true. That's why I always liked characters. Sort of like Deadpool-like characters that, you know, he'll go up against someone like Magneto, and instead of and he'll just completely disregard the seriousness of a situation.
Yeah. It's a good strategy. It's how you win the mental battle.
I'm fighting to reclaim our people's birthright. I'm fighting to smack that ass.
Yeah, well, I'm fighting for a kiss, Fassbender.
I'm coming over there. I'm coming in for a hug.
You better get those lips ready, boy. Because I'm coming for them.
That's what you gotta do. That's what we're gonna do to all bad guys.
I can tell you that that's how I get out of fights. It's like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. Well, I'm gonna kiss you. I'm
That
gonna give you a
reminds me
nice
of
little
the
smack on the lips.
that reminds me of the Kevin Hart comedy bit where he's talking about how you never fight a guy who's got his dick out. There's just too much at risk. He's like talking about how like people are saying, "Oh, if I ever caught my girl cheating, I'd like kill the dude." And it's like if you just walked in, he was like, "You're not gonna fight him like that." What happens if something happens in the middle of the fight and it smacks you, or like swings against you?
Fight's over.
You can't do it. Also, you know how anytime you ever see, there was like a compilation a while back of videos where people getting ready for a fight and one dude just takes off all of his clothes and the other dude just immediately backs off.
It's the perfect strategy.
No one's gonna fight a naked dude. There's too much you risk losing because the other person's already like, I don't care about how I look. I don't care about dignity in this fight. The other person's like, oh, I'm not gonna look cool if I end up getting grappled or like taken down to the ground by this guy.
You think that's why there's like so many videos of drunk white dudes taking off their shirts?
No, because taking off your shirt's one thing because it's you're entering combat mode.
But
when you
once
take
you
off
go to the pants,
when you take off the pants, it's something else entirely.
that's an ordeal too. You have to stop all the momentum of a fight to take your pants off. Like, hold on, because you're wearing shoes too.
It's amazing though when the pants come off because you create a barrier. The distance between you and everyone else grows. It's like they're like, nope, we don't. Back up, back up. This dude's fucked.
This is my force field technique. now I'm just like, if you're going to take your if you're going to take your pants off in a fight, what if it gets stuck on your shoes?
Then you have to stay in place.
Hold on, man. I gotta take my shoes off now. I didn't think my jeans would get caught on my fucking Converse.
Well, then at that point, you really have to take the underwear off because, like, they could still come in while you're wearing the underwear because it's like, well, I'll just hit him and then he'll look like an idiot with his pants down. But then once the underwear comes off, okay. You don't want to get too close.
Oh my god.
That's like a Florida man thing where it's like, man fights off 3 cops while furiously masturbating.
Oh god. I'm lightheaded. I'm laughing too hard. It just is like, I'd imagine it's like a tight bar fight at first. Man takes off his shirt and they're getting ready to fight. And the dude's just like, hold up. And he starts taking off his pants and everyone backs up by like at least 5 or 6 feet. And then he gets him he gets him stuck on his shoes. And like all fight momentum is just dead at this point, and everyone's like, well, now I don't know what to do.
Because he's got to like sit on the bar stool with his bare ass while he's like fiddling with his shoelaces.
Hold on, like I can't just take the shoes off because I don't want to stretch them. These are my good sneakers, so I gotta undo my shoelaces. And I double knotted them today because I didn't want them to come undone.
I think at that point, if I was the guy fighting him, I would just leave. Because I'm like, this isn't going to turn out good for me. There's no way I'm going to look cool at the end of this.
After all of this time, everyone is just looking at me, expecting me to back off.
No, you know what's better? You keep the shoes on.
But you take the pants off?
You just take your pants off. Actually, you take your pants and underwear off, you keep your shirt on and your shoes on, so that way they can't throw you out because no shirt, no shoes, no service. You still have shirt and shoes on, so you're good.
Oh my god. I feel like that's so much just fucking funnier.
You got your white button-up business shirt and you got your loafers on, but your dick is just swinging.
You're just hanging dong in your business casual attire.
Just with your dukes raised.
Oh. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's our advice for how to win a fight.
I'm gonna
just take off your underwear.
just take off your pants and your undies.
It's honestly best if you're completely outnumbered too, because you'll get that barrier between you and everyone else.
This segment is gonna be so fun to edit. Oh
That
my
would be a
god.
clip. I'll clip
That
it.
oh yeah. This is the clip.
This is the clip.
Oh Jesus.
Uh,
Oh well,
and lastly, Higurashi.
Higurashi is coming up the last segment. It's like going to an open mic night and you're up last and the dude right before you fucking kills it.
Yeah. And honestly, it was a pretty whatever episode anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Because we just found out, oh, hey, this is going to be stretched into a whole nother show.
Oh, yeah. We get, like, basically all they really show this episode is they show, what's the lady's name?
They showed Takano some stuff about her, like remembering too, because like how all these people are remembering. Even Tepe Bros. No, Tepe Bros. They immediately just stopped caring about Tepe.
Yeah, they dropped Tepe super hard. But like, what the fuck?
And Satoko doesn't care about doing any of the bad stuff to any of the people in the timeline because she's the worst person ever now.
She's done the ultimate heel turn.
And for some reason, there was like, I don't know why, there was just so much with this episode that I was just, I didn't understand why we would have to go through to explain, because the point of this episode was just, oh, she's using the needles with the Hanamizawa syndrome to make the people go crazy. I thought this was basically explained like episodes ago, or you could easily infer it. It didn't need a whole episode to explain it. We called it episodes ago.
Yeah, we called it when they were doing it.
Yeah, the second it was revealed Satoko was bad, it's like, oh, she's just injecting people. And then we had a whole episode to explain that, even though it didn't need an episode. A brief thing. You could just be like, oh, she was using the needles. In fact, there was an episode, the point specifically, where Dr. Ire in an earlier episode goes, what's that? This is the very incredibly potent level 5 Hanamizawa syndrome. If you injected that into a person, they'd surely go crazy. There we go. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
That was enough. We called it right there. We were like, yep, that's how she's doing it.
Yes.
But then they felt the need to explain it. Overly explain it, in fact.
Not only just overly explain it, but do it in one of the most roundabout ways possible by having a Takano episode.
Yes. And again, I don't know. At this point, I've been burned on so many characters that it's not worth caring about them anymore.
We like swapping the perspective.
What matters in this show but Satoko, because Satoko keeps jumping out of these timelines anyway and saying they don't matter.
Right.
Also, she goes out of her way to kill herself probably a countless number of times in order to figure out the code for the briefcase. If you're going to go that far, why do you not just do that to pass school? Like, seriously. All this roundabout method to just not be bad at school.
Even with the social aspect, she could go through it and learn the best ways to make friends with these people.
Yeah, but she just doesn't want to.
It's shitty. It's a shitty thing she's doing.
Yeah, and she's completely fine with just, I don't care that I'm causing all this pain and suffering because all that matters is me and Rika and the one timeline that we get together. So I'm fine with killing Mion, Keiichi, Shion, Rena, and any other timeline because that's not the one I'll settle in.
Yeah, that's not the one that matters. The only true one is the one where Rika and I are together.
You know, would be the best, actually. The best possible ending would be, because you know how Rika has the thing to kill like or people that can be immortal.
Yeah.
She kills herself, so she can never actually like. She ends up killing herself, so Satoko can never be in the same timeline as that Rika.
But she's still looping.
Yeah, she'll still keep looping, but Rika will never loop again.
Oh, that would be like a Twilight Zone fuck you-esque ending, and I would be super down for that.
It's like, yep, well, you want to keep doing this, but you'll never see me again.
Sorry, have fun.
Have fun in your hollow worlds.
I feel like at that point, that's the only ending I would really be satisfied with.
Yeah, because there should definitely be no makeup.
No. You don't get to disembowel your friend at like 2:30 in the morning and get the hey, we make up ending.
Especially when there was no reason for it to go that far. Actually, not even just the disemboweling. Everything even before that. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna kill everybody around us and get them to murder you.
Yeah. She fucked this one.
So we stay friends forever. And also, there's just she's gonna loop now, and she knows it now. So there's no way that they're gonna be able to make up now. Actually, in fact, Satoko's main power of this was the fact that Rika didn't know she was looping. So now that she knows, she can't just go and get the Hanamizawa to inject people with.
Yeah, because Rika can stop her.
And be like, I know exactly what you're doing, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. And you know what? We won't even be able to see the resolution until the next show comes out, because it's not.
And of course, I'm watching it though.
Yeah. I think that's the part that kind of bothers me the most, is I know I'm still gonna watch it.
I'm not getting off Ryukishi's wild ride.
I gotta know.
But good thing he gave us like 3 months to read Umineko.
Yeah.
Are you ready to read Umineko?
No, I don't even have it. I gotta find it and read the whole thing in 3 months.
It's on Steam.
Is it?
It is. It's licensed by Manga Gamer. They have like booths at like the conventions and stuff sometimes.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or you could read the manga.
Or I could read the manga. I'd probably be better off playing the game. I feel like I could get that done faster.
Yeah, also, it has the best soundtrack out of any visual novel ever. Hands down, I will make that claim that Umineko has the best soundtrack. You've heard most of it too, because I usually throw it into like D&D.
Yeah.
It has a fantastic, phenomenal soundtrack, which is one of the main reasons why it's like the manga, I guess, is good. It's really good. He actually oversaw the manga, but you don't get the music.
Huh.
You gotta have the music. The music's so good.
The music is very good. I have heard it. I wonder. I'm thinking of content possibilities.
Oh, I like what you're thinking about.
See, we're on the same page.
Protagonist plays. Umineko.
Protagonist plays.
When the Seagulls Cry.
When the Seagulls Cry. It's something to think about.
Yeah, we can voice Ushinomiya Battler.
We both can at the same time. It'll be like there's two of them.
We can do that.
There's two of them in the same room.
No, you can be George.
I'll be George. I don't know who George is, but I'll be him. I don't care.
He's the cousin. Basically, Umineko, they're all a family besides the witches, and they're all on an island. They're all rich. They're a rich family on an island, and then murder mystery stuff happens.
I can get down with that. I like murder mystery stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
I did a bed and breakfast murder mystery once a long time ago. That was pretty fun.
But the solution to some of these mysteries are dumb magic. But don't worry, Battler's going to be there, and he's going to explain why witches aren't real, even though witches are there.
He's going to explain to the witches why they aren't real.
They're like, we did this murder. And he's like, no, you didn't. I have logic and facts on why it was just fucking science.
Objection. Let me drop some science on you.
Objection. I want to interview the parrot. Phoenix did that once. He interviewed a parrot.
Yep, that is a thing that happened. Phoenix Wright likes to push the boundaries.
Just like us, here on the Protagonist seat.
We do. And if you want to see us push more boundaries, then subscribe on all kinds of sources of media. We got YouTube. Like and subscribe to the video and leave a comment. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'll give you fresh updates. We post clips and we post episodes. And if we do a Protagonist Plays series, that will most likely go up on our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, because Umineko is actually the perfect thing for that.
Yeah, it would be. I'll do a little bit of cursory research to see if we can get away with it if there's nothing too terrible. Worst case scenario, some things will need to be censored.
There's no porn in it.
Good.
It's not a porn game.
Good. YouTube Kun does not like that.
There might be depictions of violence, but that's about it.
We can edit that in post. We'll put something fun over it. If you're listening on any of our other pod platforms and you're curious about, watching the clips or maybe sending the clips to someone or checking out the Umineko series when and if we play it, we'll keep you updated on that on
Facebook
social
and
media.
Twitter at Protagonist Seat.
We make them easy to find. We're available. As always, our amazing OP was done by a lovely gentleman named Popskyy. His info will be in the description. And that's all we got for you. Class dismissed.